Hey friends, welcome back to Peculiar Potions. We now have both renewable mending books and an enchanting setup that should help us get whatever other enchantments we need, but neither of these things are much use without a means to actually earn experience. There is a skeleton farm near the Hyvenvine Island, but it's a bit of a trip. We need something a bit more local. So today is about establishing a dungeon farm here in the Hideaway to give us all the experience we'll need. So we're back in the Hideaway here again, back at home sweet home. It honestly feels really strange to be back here again, after spending so long in Treasure Town. Oh, Treasure Town? I can't words today. Though that's a lot of days, I suppose that's nothing new. Over in Treasure Town over there. In fact, my inventory is still pretty filled with stuff from that, that's why I have a bazillion emeralds. Let me go ahead and sort my inventory here a little bit, put things where they should be. I have a whole bunch of axes and shovels with these specific enchantments because I was getting up trading levels for the dudos I needed to get trading levels up with. So I have a whole bunch of these, so we're going to be burning through them for a little while is the case. So hey, at least I have like some pretty good axes and shovels now. I had to do a whole bunch of trading for that. But yeah, part of me kind of wanted to stick around there a little while longer. Like, we've been spending the past 7 episodes working on that project there. It's strange that it's done. But the main thing that we did that project for, working on getting, like, actual tools that we don't have to worry about breaking and putting more durability points into by using materials, that whole thing, we still have to do that. We do have the zombie farm over there. We have our mending books at the ready. But in terms of a design for the... Hi. What's up? In terms of a design, I figured that we would really quickly dip on over to the skeleton farm that's over at the Hyvenvine Island, which I have shown briefly before, but I figure I'd show it in depth since this is a skeleton farm, or a dungeon farm, I guess, that can work with, in theory, any mob, that I have built before, and I'd like to just use this same design again, because it seems to work pretty darn well over there, in terms of farming experience. It is very quite nice. What is going on over here? I swear, there's gotta be like some weird gravel cave or something like that that Endermen are going a little bit crazy on. Alright, here it is, the surface entrance. There is another way through a cave way over that away, but this is like the most convenient entrance from the Hideaway. So here it is, the skeleton farm, in the middle of this whole crazy cave system. Look, there are gravel Endermen! Let's be very careful not to look at you. Oh my goodness, you are zooming fast. Anyway, give it a little bit of time since we just got here and skeletons should be appearing here. So essentially, how this works is if I go ahead and just break a block here to appear in this way. So the actual skeleton spawner is there, and that'll be continuously spawning skeletons. And the skeletons are going to be pushed by water. No. They're going to be pushed by water over into that channel there once they're done shooting one another and stuff. And, this is going to move them across onto a water elevator over here, which you can't really see that great from here. It's been a little while since being here, so I need to get my bearings. This is the elevator over here. So, once again, this is the actual skeleton area, a little bit higher from it. So it pushes them over this way, it moves them over there. And land, using a water elevator system, it shoots them up this way. There's another set of water that moves them over this way. And then they come down this way. And then once they land, they're going to take exactly the amount of damage that leaves them with like half a heart left. Do I have any materials left over here that would be handy? Soul soil. Oh no, I need soul sand. I think. Oh, I'm going to yoink that. Don't mind me. Just as I was saying, I was out of iron. And that is a lot of copper. Which means, once they land over here, you can just boop, and they die, and then there's an experience orb. So, it's quite a handy-dandy system. I wonder if I can, This isn't gonna flood this area, is it? Hold on. Just to make sure that doesn't happen, I want to show the insides of it a little bit here. So I can just do this, and you can put down signs to stop water flowing. It's pretty handy, I must say. Alright, let's see here. Okay, water's not even gonna flow through there anyway. So, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to use a design like this, most likely. So, yeah, it just brings them across here, brings them across that way. Ideally, you could have, like, an ice block there or something or other. Whoa. So that they slide across a little bit better. If I get mending, I could always just harvest an ice block somewhere, and then, they're getting a little bit antsy here. Harvest an ice block and put it in, like, the specific place. Oh, this guy really wants out here, I guess because I'm here, so he's, like, fighting it. No, stop. My goodness. So if I do that, and then he just forgets that I exist, and then he stops fighting. Whoa, that axe goes fast! It'll go even faster once we deck out diamond tools and stuff. But yeah, so he gets pushed across. Sometimes they don't always go across. They don't always slide across on just cobblestone there. Like, if you have ice, that's a better alternative. But they will eventually get pushed there because other skeletons will start coming in and be pushing them across. And then they come over here. And then for the sake of this, like just for the sake of sweeping here, bam. Sometimes they die there. I guess one skeleton shot another skeleton. That enderman doesn't have a gravel block. You can literally just set up like an auto hotkey kind of clicker that just clicks every once in a while. Like set it to click once per minute or something like that. And then just bam, an experience and stuff. And then you can get like a whole bunch of loot. So skeleton loot is definitely really handy because you get all kinds of bones and arrows and all that fun stuff. So I would have preferred that the spawner by the hideaway would have been a skeleton spawner rather than a zombie one. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I'll just stock up at this one while we're here. So our dungeon farm setup is going to be really, really convenient right next to the base here, right as part of like the main setup. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sometimes it be like that. Considering it is right here. Again, I wish it could have been skeletons rather than zombies, but what you gonna do? So if I could turn it on and off, that would be fantastic. I'm gonna have to decide like which way this is going to flow. Probably whichever way is most out of the way, so maybe the water will be flowing this way, or something like that. And we have our little outpost to be smackarooing them, smacking their feet and stuff over here. Probably? Yeah, something like that. As for the materials that we should use, I guess we'll see what we've got over here and figure it out with that. I guess we can go ahead and do that since it's been a little while since we've been here. Bam. Yeah, dungeon farm and then mending tools. Maybe that should go there at this point. I don't know. But yeah, we're getting there. We're doing things. We've almost completely wiped off the first layer of bulletin board here. Let me go ahead and store these away. So it is also worth noting, I have been stocking up on a decent few mending books. These are just like a few to showcase, like, hey, we have mending books and stuff here. Here's some Purdish nice enchantments, and here's like some other Purdish nice enchantments, but not quite as good as they could be, if I recall. It's honestly been a little while. I took a little bit of a breather since hopping into this the last time, and how I was getting experience was just with Skeleton Farm there. So I got a decent few books, but I was like, man, this really sucks doing it from so far from home, so let's make something a bit more local. Because there is Silk Touch here, I could go get ice that away. I would need to figure out where a biome for that kind of thing. Wait, no I wouldn't. I could just freeze it here. I could just put out water in here and it should freeze. That was a whole problem I ran into over there. I'm silly. Yeah, forgive me there, my head's just a little bit scrambled sometimes here. Alright, so yeah, we have a decent bit of deep slate here. So I might do something similar to what we did over at the Skeleton Farm. I say we, it wasn't exactly part of this series, but you know. I have a decent bit of mossy cobblestone there. Okay. I guess I'm a little bit inconsistent there. No. I guess tiles are the final thing. Should I just do, like, tiles then? Tiles. We're doing tiles. We've got deep slate bricks at home, and they're called deep slate tiles. Seems like the bamboo farm is continuing to work swimmingly here. I can just shove this into the free smelter. That'll use our excess bamboo. Oh yeah, we good there, and there's a whole bunch more copper. Yeah, I've been I've been smelting some things. Wait, I have the chests out here. Are these empty? Oh, these are empty. I can use these chests. In fact, maybe I'll just like bring them closer in, even. I don't need all these chests out here. It's a good thing I have that little smidges of iron, because I am going to need hoppers for this setup. It is also occurring to me. So maybe I'll put this, like, somewhere off to the side where it's clearly not going to get in the way. This is all lit, right? It'd be pretty silly if it wasn't here. Yeah, we good, I think. Oh, and then this is, oh, this is my storage room. Oh, yeah. It's that. My storage room that I've, like, never used. Some of them just really like to chill on top of rooftops for some reason. So in terms of materials that I had here, here's a little bit of redstone. Yeah, here's a whole bunch of axes. Dad axe. I guess I can take my copper. I'll just take a stack of dirt. Here's some glowstone. I am gonna want some redstone, I think, though. Some redstone would be nice, so just let me stock up here. There we go. That'll be good enough for now. I wouldn't mind some glowstone here. Will be nice. Alright, you're gonna get a level up and stuff. You're gonna get all poofy like that. Whoa, magic! And then Bottle enchanting. That's pretty expensive. We're not gonna get, you know, infinite experience this way. We're gonna get infinite experience with that mob farm because this is not an efficient way to do it. It's just a legitimate way to obtain bottles of enchanting. And I already have, like, plenty of lapis lazuli. Well, there's, most of my emeralds spent. So, with all my materials gathered and at the ready, it was finally time to start building the dungeon farm. What this build specifically calls for is 4 blocks out on every side, essentially making this a 9x9 with a spawner right in the middle. Now, one thing that I did want to do with this build was make it actually possible to turn it on and off, because if I'm harvesting wheat not all that far away, I don't want to hear the constant blargs and groans of the zombies nearby, so I want to be able to turn off this farm when I'm not actively using it. So I figured that I would do that with a redstone lamp, which is just a single piece of glowstone surrounded by 4 pieces of redstone. And I'll figure out some way to bring a redstone signal over there, so I can create a bit of a switch to turn this on or off. Now, I probably shouldn't have dug down as much as I did there. It was only 1 block down, but still, it made it a little bit difficult to access the ceiling. So before I got down digging anymore, I figured I would go ahead and work on the ceiling first and foremost, and then it would be fair game to dig down once again. I employed a very similar style to what I ended up using over in the skeleton farm, where this deep slate becomes an integral part of the structure, helping keep it all together. Gives it a look like it's reinforcing it a decent bit. And by doing this with the deep slate, it would also use about exactly the amount of deep slate that I had throughout this build, so there's that. So then I started figuring out what I was going to do for the redstone design here, and it turns out I could actually do a really simple design, and it seems like it would work a-okay. I decided to use stairs, 1, because it would help it look a little bit better, and 2, hopefully it would prevent any zombies from spawning up there and being safe from the farm. Now that I worked on the ceilings and the surrounding walls, it was finally fair game to dig down farther, so that's what I got to doing. Also, as slow as it is to dig through with a cobblestone pickaxe, I can feel good in knowing that this should be the last time I do a build with stone tools. Hopefully, assuming everything goes according to plan here. So, once we had the elevation level set, I needed to dig down a channel over here where they were actually going to fall into, where the water was going to push them into. So, I had plenty of this kind of stone that I've been smelting over with the excess bamboo, so I figured, hey, let's play it into a build, why not? As for the water channel here, I would need to dig down 1 block just to make sure that it could flow all the way across. And then the zombies would be pushed into a water elevator over this way that would bring them all the way up, so that they could then fall to a height that would bring them down to half a heart, ideally. So I started digging it out and I started nerd pulling up, which brought me up around here. So I just kept digging away and working my way up there with dirt. This will eventually become water and become a whole lot easier to traverse, but for right now, while we're figuring out this build, we're going with dirt. The simple, easy option here. So ideally, I wouldn't have to go up too high in order to give them a good drop height of whatever brings them down to half a heart. The nice thing about being underground is that I should be able to work with whatever drop height, just dig until however far I need to dig. Is at least what I initially thought. That'll cause a problem that we'll run into here shortly. And then I would need to actually figure out how to do the drop down. So I made a few spaces across and then started digging down. And as you can see, I once again landed in this open area here. So I needed to move that staircase over a little bit because otherwise it would get in the way of the channel. And lo and behold, what is also waiting right around down here but a tiny cave system and a few baddies. Luckily it's a very tiny cave, so I didn't have to dig out too much. But then I thought, okay, I'm gonna need some other way to access this over here. I can't just be expected to like nerd pull down and nerd pull up every time I want to access the actual kill area. So I decided to make a proper water elevator over here that would give me easy access to the zombie farm. Always making sure to get the most bang for my buck with my fortune pickaxe when I see things like iron there. Especially considering how low I am on iron after the last project of the underground village and how many lanterns that ended up using up. So I just continue to use jungle signs just because jungle wood is what I have the most of right now. Setting up the water elevator proper. And then using this other kind of stone once again to mark the edges. And then I was like, wait, I have a bazillion copper and I brought some copper over here. Let's play it into the design a little bit. So I slapped it into the floor. And I figured I could knock down those torches and the lantern should be able to stop it just fine. So I did a test run there. The zombie game pushed up the water elevator and then coming down to my area there because I hadn't finished the shoot yet. So he just landed over here and he attacked me. So maybe not the best time to test it. So I was going to save any further test runs until I properly finished the kill shoot. So with that done, I started testing it. And I wanted to make sure that I calculated the height just right for what height would bring them to half a heart. So I experimented here a little bit. And then I ran into a bit of an issue. I started to notice how the zombies weren't spawning while I was down there. Turns out, you actually need to be pretty darn close to a spawner, so as I was dipping in and out of the range, the spawner was turning on and off. Which means that this thing might not have even needed an on and off switch if I need to be this close for it to turn on and all. So that would pose a major problem, because you see, I can only build this up so high, because if I build up more, I'm gonna dig into the wheat farm area. So I had two options. One was to either take out a section of my wheat farm, make it all ugly and literally have zombies be rolling through the wheat farm. Or do the crackhead option of have the zombies go up, bring them down to half a heart, and then shoot them back up again. It should be evident which of the two options I did here. Now, I wasn't entirely sure how to do this. This is going to end up being one of the strangest mob farms you'll probably ever see in Minecraft. In the sense that, is it practical? It gets the job done, it fits into the space. If I had realized that I was going to do this project in this kind of way, and that there was a maximum range on the mob farms actually working, on the spawners actually working that is, maybe I wouldn't have built my wheat farm where I did. But it's a little bit late for that now, and I mean, I always have the option to move it a little bit later if I so choose. I could always still go with that other option, but this is what I felt like doing here. So I had to experiment with figuring out how the heck I was going to get them to water elevator back up again. And within such a confined space, which meant that down there I would need to have them just very slightly be pushed by water. If it was a longer channel, it'd be a lot easier, but in a very confined space like there is down there, it became a little bit tricky, but I was like, it'll work, it'll be enough. So if I really want a whole lot of experience, that skeleton farm near the Hive and Vine Island is still the better option. But this is the convenient one close to home. And I figured, since I worked so much on the interior, and since I had slime balls from the villager project anyway, when it turned out that I couldn't even use sticky pistons for the job machine thingamabob, I was like, hey, let's actually use them. And do you know what else I should use? Is ice. So I placed some water over in the snowy area, waiting for it to freeze, and figuring that I would just silk touch that a little bit later. So, how was I also going to access this kill chamber if I ever need to? I initially figured a wooden door. This would change to an iron door a little bit later, because while the server is on normal mode right now, there is a chance that it might be changed over to hard mode at some point in the future, because I know that there are advantages that come with that, namely with being able to zombify and cure villagers. So, just to future-proof this, I would later change it to the iron door design. And I was also a little bit distraught to find that you couldn't just run redstone into all those pistons in a row. So I had to make repeaters, which was a little bit of a pain. Especially considering I didn't actually have enough redstone to do that, so I kind of had to run over to the village and use most of the rest of my emeralds buying a redstone. So that kind of sucked. But I did manage to get this working. I now have a lever to turn the farm on and off, and a lever to get a little bit of a window inside that also can act as a maintenance hatch if we ever want to get proper access into there. So I figured I'd pretty up this area a little bit, and maybe make a little bit of a glass wall so you can actually see in to see some of the mechanicals on how this window is working. It's a super simple redstone design, it's not anything super fancy schmancy, but it's still cool to peer through the window and see redstone, I feel like. And it seemed to be working, so I closed it up. And then I started working on the ceiling here a little bit, like, hey, that's not matching, I better fix that up. Of course, electing for lanterns rather than torches for proper light. Now, I don't know how much rotten flesh I'd ever want, but just in case, there is a series of chests under there now that will accumulate a lot of rotten flesh. Then of course if I wanted to grab the ice, I need a Silk Touch pickaxe, which luckily I had one of stored away for just such an occasion. Having previously decided to go back to the island that I thought I might not find myself going back to. After all, it is quite a useful tool that would otherwise be going unused. So, back at the farm, this gave me the ability to put down ice blocks. It's going to be extra important for them to be able to slide where they need to go when they have this crazy elaborate of a route that they need to traverse to be able to get to the kill area. And it seemed to be working relatively. Some of them weren't always at half a heart, some of them needed some extra hits, unfortunately. I don't know how some of them aren't taking damage at the initial drop, but hey, I guess they take some extra smackaroos, it's not too big of a deal. And of course their armor kind of screws with things a little bit as well. So it also occurred to me that if any baby zombies come through here, they'll be able to sneak through a 1-block gap, and that's kind of scary. So I needed to tinker around with a few designs here until I settled on something that I liked to be able to just sneak through a little gap and be able to stab them. Also, turning off this farm would take a little bit to kick in, just because of how much of a buffer there would be of zombies still lingering in the system. And I realized that with some of the previous designs, I wasn't actually yoinking the experience orbs all the time. Sometimes they would get caught on the lip. So I needed to do a design like this, where they were another block off of the ground, and the experience orb could just come to me without having a ledge to get over. While this system did basically work, it would also sometimes result in zombies drowning and turning into drowned, which would regenerate their health, which wasn't super great. I also had to plug up the lower area because it turns out that a whole bunch of baby zombies were coming out through there. And with that, the build was basically done, unless I later changed the design to actually build into the wheat field after all. But for now, this would work, it was fine. We can take this alternate path from the mine shaft to get experience here instead. If it's not ores that we're looking for, but rather experience orbs, this is the place that we can come. With built-in functionality to be able to turn the farm on and off, and be able to open a window/maintenance hatch into the area. With that, the dungeon farm was complete. We now had access to infinite experience. Alright, well, that project got a lot more elaborate than initially planned. It is strange having an addition to the hideaway here that isn't directly seen within the hideaway being secretly tucked away back there in the mineshaft. You wouldn't think it. But there's infinite experience right there, which means we did the thing. That thingamabob is done. Now, with the powers combined of all those things, we can get proper mending tools with all sorts of enchantments put onto it. We could get mending tools before, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to get experience first, because it turns out the order that you put enchantments on a tool matters a whole lot. So, let's do the thing. Let's go do the thingamabob. So, I've gotten a lot of experience since earlier, because in terms of a real lifetime, this is actually a few days later, and I've been a little bit busy amassing stuff here. So I've kinda gone through a bit over half of my lapis overall. Here's about all my iron that I have amassed. This was part that I forgot of in that chest that's on the way to the underground village there. So I was like, oh, let's yoink that. So I actually had slightly more iron than I thought I did, just in case I need to make another anvil. But this is basically all my iron except for a few nuggets somewhere. So yeah, it'd be good to deck out some tools here pretty darn soon. So essentially, all I did was amass a whole bunch of books here, and if it seemed like something was really good here, I would do that. And if something seemed like it wasn't so good here, then I would typically just do that, and then like disenchant it here, and then get a little smidge of my experience back, and so on and so forth. I should actually hold on to these books, because I am going to need them in a little bit here. So, in terms of, here's ones that have like max enchantment. So these are like most of the ones that I held on to. So, there's things like this, where it's like, oh yeah, look at all that stuff. If something was like the highest level of something it could be, even if it's something that I'm not going to use, then I slapped it here. So I'll just scroll through them. So evidently, I've been busy and kinda losing my mind and stuff. So I've been gathering a whole bunch of thingamabobs, and look at all this stuff. But I couldn't help but notice that as I was going through a whole bunch of things here, there were just some kinds of books that I wasn't getting from the enchantment table, like special super high level ones, like efficiency 5, like sharpness 5. I got a couple efficiency 5 ones here. I put them separately because those are from combining lower level ones where it's just like, yeah, here's a whole bunch of things that are like almost maxed out, like a couple efficiency 4 things. So I can actually go ahead and do this, for example. Whereas like you can combine 2 efficiency 4s into an efficiency 5. But it's not as good as just using an efficiency 5 book straight up. That was initially made as an efficiency 5 book. Because the more forging that you do, the higher the experience cost is going to be, and eventually it gets to a point that it just doesn't allow you to combine things anymore. Like, there's a max there. So it's like, huh. So I can use these, I have them separate here, on things that don't need too many enchantments. But on things that I'm piling a lot of stuff on, that could actually be handy to have, you know, separate thingamabobs. I never even got a... I might have 1 sharpness 4, but I'm fairly certain... Yeah, there's a sharpness 4, but I think most of the sharpness ones that I got were a sharpness 3. Yeah, there's a couple of sharpness 3s, there's a couple of sharpness 4s, a few efficiency 4s. Here's all the mending books at the top that we have amassed and stuff. So I was like, huh, I'm starting to see the value in setting up more villagers. So that is exactly what I did here, if I go to the right chest. That is exactly what I did. So things are a little bit more decked out in a bit of a strange temporary kind of way to get a whole bunch of enchantments. Now, you might also be wondering, where the heck did you get so many emeralds from? And the answer is, well, I did some mining off camera. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, but where'd my minecart go? What the heck? Gosh, dang it. I could have sworn my minecart was right here. Well, burn through some more iron, I guess. No, that's not the real answer. No, the real answer is I sold my sugarcane. Not just some of my sugarcane, literally all of it. All the sugarcane that I had, which was like that double chest's worth back home, because that sugarcane farm, while it's automatic, it's not super duper fast. I sold off all that. And you might be thinking like, wait a second, isn't this dude only gonna accept so much, if I can interact with him please, only gonna accept like so much paper from me? And yeah, that is the case before it gets blocked off, but here's this setup over here, because yeah, some of these high level enchantments were a little bit tricky to get. So thank goodness this village has continue to be as insanely populated as it has. I can actually go rest up for the night. And one of their potential trades is also taking paper for emeralds. So that is exactly what I did there. Unfortunately, neither of my treasure enchantment villagers that are actually in the stall over there will take paper for emeralds, but a bunch of these guys did. So that's exactly what I did. I can survive this fall if I go here, right? Yeah. I should not take it from this direction in the future. Probably not a good idea. So, I spent, honestly, more time working on this, putting down lecterns and picking them up again, than I did on, on the actual dungeon farm. I went through a few of these axes worth of durability, so that was a little bit painful. Some of them didn't take too long to get, some of them would keep on coming up from time to time. But some of the crazier ones, so I initially started with this. This was like my first stall that I made that gave me projectile protection and feather falling. I was like, hey, there's some high level things there. Man, I gotta keep munching after that fall. Then I got like this quick shot and quick charge and multi-shot thingamabob here, who later offered flame after I trade him a whole bunch of paper. So some of them have like additional enchantments that'd be good to get more than just like the 2 initial thingamabobs, just because on trading them paper they would rank up and stuff. So anyone that didn't trade paper evidently hasn't ranked up and is just, I've just done a single bookshelf trade with, you know, as the case. Then I went across to here, I got Unbreaking 3, Fire Protection 4. Then I got Efficiency 5, Looting 3, and then yeah, one of them got Infinity. What was wacky here is I got Efficiency 5 from someone here, not this guy. This guy, for a whole stack of emeralds. That's really darn expensive. And then as I continued to do this system over and over again, I got this other villager that also had Efficiency 5 for like way less. And I was like, oh, okay. So I shoved this guy in. I took the guy that was offering Efficiency 5 for a stack emeralds out, and I was like, well, I guess, you know, he'll just be wandering around the village then. And then I guess that must be his job site block or something like that. I can always put additional lecterns in there and they're not going to be able to get out stole in case, you know, others don't properly have a job site block in there if they can't share one. But anyway, this guy was probably assigned to that because he came around here. He came all the way around, and this is before the setup was quite like this. No, I know what he did. This must be what he did. He went around this way, and he dipped back in there. So, there's literally 2 people offering the same thing in the same stall, one for a slightly better price, and that's the reason why. And that guy's kind of stuck in the corner there, and he's a little bit difficult to get to. But yeah, he's the Infinity guy. Oh, he's giving me a discount right now. Ah, maybe I should get a looting book while I'm here. In fact, I think I might just do that. Yeah. Let's make use of the discount there. And my goodness, yeah, I'm gonna need a lot more emeralds than that even. My goodness. So, I did that, and I was like, okay, I've run out of space along here. So then I made this, and we got 3 Dudos in here. So we have Impaling. This guy later offered Respiration, so that was pretty darn cool. We have Thorns, in case I want that. And then we have Power. I have the Power. And he offered a Treasure Enchantment of Frostwalk, but level 1 rather than 2. And over here we have good old Fire Aspect and Punch. I don't know why they're back there like that. I just put this sign up here. I was like, well, where the heck do I put them now? I can't just... maybe I could, but it'd be pretty weird. So then I started bringing them around this way. So we have Protection 4 over here, like that. We have Piercing 4 over here with this guy. Sharpness took me quite some time to... Oh, you're also offering a discount. Oh, maybe I should do that right now. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, yeah. I should do that. They're probably offering discounts because I've gone ham with, like, giving them paper recently, you know. Look at that. Nice. And then finally I got Blast Protection over here, and he also offered Lure later, interestingly enough. And then it was only after... I'm no expert when it comes to, like, Minecraft enchantments. This is a new territory for me. If I make myself decked out in Minecraft in the past, it's usually in heavily modded Minecraft that handles its progression very differently. And I never got all that involved with enchantments, because it's like, why bother when there's better things with mods anyway? So I never actually realized that things like Blast Protection and regular generic protection are mutually exclusive. You can't have them both on, so... I don't want to delve into how much time I spent here getting the last thingamabob that I thought I could stack onto armor when I can't even. So, whoops, you know, there's that. Alright, I've already spent a whole bunch of my emeralds. But yeah, so this can be where I get some enchantments from. So, we're not going to be able to max out our tools and armor and stuff like that right now. Technically, I have the means to if I am really, really patient with some of our auto farms. But for now, we can max out some tools, like a pickaxe is definitely one that I want to max out. And this step towards completely renewable tools still isn't going to be done yet. Another step that I'm going to want to do is get some more things to trade these guys, you know? And there are some potentially really good trades, like if I max out some of these guys, or at least level them up. Apparently, I can trade my dried kelp blocks that are automatically farming. And another good thing that we can set up an automatic farm for, which I'm going to wait to say because this is really darn loud. And another thing that should be really easy to farm is berries. Because I've only had like a zoom in button. There's the ones over there. Because, you know, just plant them all over the place. You can harvest them like crazy. Apparently how you'd automatically harvest those is with foxes. And there might be a way to set up some sort of a system. And that foxy place that, I don't know if yeah, I did add a sign for that. That might well end up being the next step. Just because it ensures like more things to sell. More emeralds that we get. And then we can properly max things out. Man, it's going to be so long before we actually get potions, the whole name of this series of peculiar potions, but I want to make sure that we're at the ready, you know? Have super duper maxed out tools and stuff. Potions, bam! That's the thing, that's the thingamabob that's all peculiar. We're going to set up a potion shop and stuff around here, and it's going to be amazing. Alright, so first of all, the pickaxe. Now, there are 2 big options to slap on a pickaxe. One is Fortune, where you get better drops from certain ores, or 2 is Silk Touch, where you pick up, like, just that specific ore. And I wouldn't mind getting a mending of both of these types of thingamabobs. In fact, I could probably just slap mending onto this and have Fortune like that, and then just be able to pick up the raw ores with Silk Touch and then bring it back home and use it wherever and stuff. Hi, how are you doing? Because this would be the easier one to invest into anyway. Because not only does this other pickaxe that was initially made along with this one over a year ago now, geez, time sure flies, huh? In addition to having Silk Touch, it also had Unbreaking put onto it. It's like, oh, that gets me a little bit of an extra step ahead here. So that would definitely be handy. So I'm thinking that we might just switch our main pickaxe to a Silk Touch one, because it'll be a lot less expensive to do so, and then I can just go ahead and reinforce that a little bit better later. Now, in terms of the optimal order to put on these enchantments for it to cost the least, I actually have a website which is so dang bright that it flashbangs me every time I pull it up. I'll link it in the description. That essentially gives me an optimal order for putting enchantments onto thingamabobs. I can probably use one of these efficiency books that I combined even. And then if I yoink one of these mending books, I should just be able to slap both of these onto here, no problemo, I think. Apparently sometimes the order that you have them on here matters. Okay, yeah, well, it has to be the tool there. I guess it's just if you have, like, a tool there. Now, that's a little smidge more expensive there. But yeah, so if we go ahead and do, say, this, and then we can do this, and yeah, there we have it. A pickaxe all sorted out. Now, I wasn't entirely sure what to call this, but I very much like naming things in reference to other things and other inspirations of mine. So I mentioned at the beginning of the series that one of the biggest inspirations for eventually doing a series like this was series like Survive and Thrive. And you know what? Another word for thriving is prospering, so let's do that, because I'm uncreative. Let's have Prosper the pickaxe here. Like that. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's snowing out. Sweet. So we now have a tool that should be able to repair itself. Don't have to worry about durability here, and I can use this on projects and stuff. Yeah, I hope. I don't know. Hold on. Let's test this really quick. Because like I said, I've not exactly tinkered around all that much with enchantments before. So I never even knew that mending was a thing that existed before starting this series, so yeah. Also, I'm realizing in hindsight that if I was going to do a design like this, where they might just get their health back from turning into drowned anyway, then I may as well just make a different kill chamber thing, like right out the bottom of it, but well, it's a little bit late for that now. I can always change it later. Here's a bunch of doodles. It's weird. I'm getting the XP in my experience bar rather than it going into the tool. Alright, I realize that I am probably going to have to change the design of the zombie farm at some point because it's not quite doing the trick. So to properly test, let's see here. It's not repairing. I'm so confused right now. So according to the Minecraft wiki, any items with mending in the player's main hand, offhand, or armor slots that are not at maximum durability are repaired by experience orbs collected from any source. I thought that it just had to be in your hotbar, but I guess it needs to be in, like, one of your hands, and then will it mend? It will mend. It's at full durability. Oh, I know how it works now. Okay. Neat. Alright, well, let's go back home and make some more tools with what experience and emeralds I have left. Alright, oh, okay, that's fine.
Hello!
Ah!
Hi, everybody.
Ah! Holy crap, that jump scared the crap out of me. Oh my goodness. Well, I have some new things on my mental to-do list. One, let's make the zombie farm better. At least I have infinite experience at home. And two is probably make like some sort of a nether portal setup thingamabob over to the skeleton farm. Because even if I do make the zombie farm as efficient, I won't be able to get things like bones, and arrows probably won't be too important because I can trade for arrows over at the village pretty darn easily now. But the bone meal could still be handy depending on what kind of project I'm working on. This time you're not jump scaring me. It ain't happening. Come on! Well, I'm just causing destruction everywhere I go. Anyway, in terms of the next thing to enchant, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be an axe, because I can only do so much right now with the emeralds and experience that I have at the moment, which is why we're gonna need more emeralds, as mentioned earlier. So I figure, because an axe can alternatively be used as a weapon to a sword, it's like, hey, let's go ahead and do that first and foremost. I can sort out the sword later. So how about we just go ahead and do the axe for now? Because that way I have a spicy weapon that I can use. And then once we have the the means to make a sword later, we can do that. Because then I also have the ability to harvest wood super fast, all established and stuff as well. Really? I haven't slept for 3 nights?
Into the mouth.
Stop!
Nice.
Also, there's bees out here. I've started to notice them around, but I don't know if hives can just spawn, or if, Wait, speaking of hives, I can silk touch a hive. I'm fairly certain. And bring it over. Huh. I'm just now remembering this. The sugarcane farm, all empty of sugarcane. Is sad days. Alright, so next thing is axe. And then shovel. And then probably armor stuff from there is probably the order that I'll start going in, assuming I have the resources to even get that far. Wait, for an axe, I need to not be here. Where's my cart? Huh? What the heck? Well, how did my cart get here? I'm so confused. Is that my weaponsmith? Whoa, wait here. Because one of the things that happened since last time... Yeah, you are my weaponsmith. My weaponsmith skedaddled. So I could get 29 emeralds, diamond axe from you, and I know that there's one over here too, and they're both kind of crap enchantments, so just go with it for one. It's cheaper, efficiency too. Alright, I'm getting your deal on that, case. Yoink! Give me that diamond axe. Yeah, let's go ahead and use that. I have less than a stack of emeralds. I'm not going to be able to get a whole lot of spicy enchantments and stuff. But I don't know how the heck he got out, but I noticed when I was coming over here, as I was leveling up the weaponsmith, being like, oh, I can get a diamond sword from him that's enchanted when he's max, and I was trading with him a whole bunch. I was giving him a whole bunch of my coal. He kind of vanished. And I was wondering where he went, but I guess he's still around here. I don't know how he got out. I didn't think that there was some way that you could parkour out of here. But I guess there is, and I'm gonna have to review the design. I mean, I can leave that open, and then... Like, you guys should both wander back in there anyway, because your job site blocks are in... Oh! Oh, okay. But how did you get out? There's some flaw in this design. I don't know what it is, but there's some sort of flaw that I'll have to figure out sometime later. I do really wish that there were some better enchantments initially on this diamond axe. But, alas, what you gonna do? It would be a little bit too much effort to re-roll for those villagers. I'd have to trade so much coal with them, and I'm running out of coal. I have a decent bit of coal and like some random chests around here, but not the massive ton. So what are we gonna slap onto this? So the things I'm gonna want to slap on are sharpness, efficiency, fortune. I don't need to touch anything with an axe here. Mending and unbreaking. So I might be able to do it with the combined efficiency books, but I might be a little bit sketched out about it. So I might just go back and actually grab an efficiency book from that one villager. I should be able to afford it. Actually, I think it's like a stack, isn't it? Look, I can make a few more emeralds. I'll just sell some melons and some pumpkins, and then I'll have enough. Wait, I'm remembering that there was one villager that had efficiency for a stack that snuck his way back in just to try to bait me with his exorbitant prices. But there was the other guy that had a discount alternatively. No! No! Oh, come on! Darn you! Really? Ha! Get pranked. Alright, give me a pure efficiency 5 book that hasn't been combined with anything. Yeah. You're the guy that can give me that. Unlike this joker over here. It's like, yeah, a stack for efficiency 5. Unbelievable. I'm over here silently judging you. So yeah, sharpness, efficiency. I'm going to need another mending. And I'm actually going to need fortune 3, I believe. Which I might just have around here? Oh wait, no, those are my not complete ones. So it would have been in this chest. I'm losing my mind. There's fortune 3. Oh, and there's a fortune 3 on its own. So I can just combine that with an efficiency 4 as well. And then we'd probably be A-okay and stuff. In fact, maybe I should just, like... If I combine that with an efficiency 4, then it won't count as, like, any extra things when you count the fact that, you know, fortune's also already on there. which means that if I grab an efficiency 4, like this, and then I go ahead and Big Smackaroo and Big Smackaroo like that, then we have efficiency 5 and fortune 3. Or I can just do a standard efficiency 5 thingamabob. This might not be a half bad one to hold on to. Yeah, these efficiencies are separate for reference there. Yeah, maybe I'll hold on to that for now if I have the means to do it otherwise anyway. And the last one that I need is Unbreaking. I'm gonna need Unbreaking 3. Oh. Let's find another efficiency 4 really quickly. Because I know I have plenty of those. Yeah, I'll have plenty enough levels for this. Look at that! That's pretty nice, so I'll use this if it comes down to it. But otherwise, I'll find a Unbreaking 3 just like that. Yeah, that should be good enough here. And then yeah, look at these spicy things there. Nice! Alright. So, efficiency 5 and mending like that. Fortune 3 with Unbreaking like that. And then we go ahead and do this. So yeah, look at all that sharpness on there. And then we go ahead and slap this on. I'm starting to dig a decent bit into experience levels. Yeah. And then just like that, efficiency 5, sharpness 5, fortune 3, Unbreaking 3, mending. There. Oh, I forgot to name it. I could have done that all at once. Doesn't matter. I can do it right now. And as another reference, this time I think I'd like to reference a legendary axe that is from my first ever real strategy game that I played that got me really into strategy games. Of course, I'm talking about Fire Emblem the Blazing Blade, and the axe are mods. There we go. I am, I need some more experience levels. Alright, well, I have levels again. I'm ready to do some shopping over here. This is the last time I'm gaining levels for doing any more stuff this session, because I'm about to run out of emeralds here anyway. So, you know, I can't exactly keep doing this all that much longer. Let's get a shovel, let's finish off our basic tools, and then we good. So, in terms of toolsmith here, yeah, okay, I have enough there. That's pretty neat. Can I has that shovel right there? Thank you. Yeah, and then these will just go unused, maybe. So, in terms of stuff to slap onto this, it's pretty much just efficiency on Unbreaking, which we combined there earlier. Still a touch mending. And then we good. Let's go make it. Alright, let's see here. Am I not even gonna need to make a new anvil for this? After all? Yeah, so then we can go ahead and do that. That's already kind of expansive level-wise. And then, what order do I have on mending in these ones? I have them around the middle, so let's go ahead and do that. Slap on some mending. Okay, well, there's my answer. Time to dig through a whole bunch of iron, I guess. If I remember the recipe for an anvil here. Whoa. I believe it's like this. There we go. Alright, slap that down. And finally, we can go ahead and do that and have a maxed out shovel. As for the name of this one, yeah, it's going to cost one more level. That's a-okay there. I like to do a reference to another game that we've been doing on the channel. I haven't even beaten it yet, but I'm quite intrigued by it. But one of the longest dungeons I've ever been in any video game, I guess because it's present throughout the whole game, and features you continuously going deeper and deeper as the story goes on, which I figure is probably D, which is probably rather fitting for a shovel that helps you dig down. I'm gonna name this shovel Mementos. There we go. Yeah, I don't have enough emeralds to do anything else here. I mean, unless I have enough books for things, but I doubt it. I think I'm done for this session. Okay, well, I looked through my books, and it seems like for a chest plate, I actually have everything that I would need. There is technically another enchantment that you can slap on, being thorns, but thorns seems like it could actively screw you from stuff that I've read up online. Like, one, if I'm actually trying to do something with zombifying villagers to get, like, better discounts, better trades, and stuff like that, and a zombie comes after me, they could take damage when I don't intend them to take damage. Two, it eats up extra durability of the armor, means that it can potentially break without you noticing it. Three, it's gonna do barely any damage compared to, like, an actual dedicated weapon that you have. And, yeah, it just kind of sounds like a little bit of a hassle, so I can probably slap it on later if I want to, but we could probably actually enchant a chestplate right now. So according to that site, the optimal order is going to be protection, and then unbreaking, and then mending. Like, oh, I should probably figure out a name, right? Alright, in terms of a name for a chestplate, how about I think back to the armor in a JRPG that we played on the channel a couple of years ago that I rather liked. Let's go ahead and call it the Sin Cleaver armor, or just maybe Sin Cleaver for short there. Something that you automatically get as part of the story in Tales of Arise. It'd be a lot more fitting if it was black armor, which I guess it could in theory one day be if we use netherite. But yeah, there we go. Look at that! We're all glowy and stuff. And you know, I almost had all the things that I would need for a helmet. It's wacky how this book has these 3 enchantments that can never go on the same thing, I don't think, here. But unfortunately, I'm missing Unbreaking 3. I can't throw together anything else right now because I'd always want to slap on Unbreaking, you know. So yeah, we're done. I can buy Unbreaking later, but I'm gonna have to get some emeralds. All right, well, we now have access to mending. Holy crap! Oh my goodness. Wow. I guess I'm not really used to using tools like this. Wow, I gotta be really careful there. Let's go ahead and repair the bulletin board. Wow. Wow. That was certainly something. My goodness gracious. So, we're starting to get pretty darn geared up here and stuff. We're getting at the ready to actually be able to make that trek and be able to actually establish a potion brewery by trekking into the dangerous nether there. Bit by bit, a couple other things I want to do first, and this will pertain to getting emeralds. So, yeah, we're getting there. We are so close now to attaining our goal, and this zombie farm over here brings us one step closer. So yeah, it might not exactly be the most efficient of systems, but we do have a working zombie farm here to give us infinite experience whenever we so choose. Yeah, it takes them a little bit to get through the system here, but eventually they come all the way through and we can get experience. So I might have to figure out like a more efficient way to get over to the skeleton farm some other way, or just redesign this to make it a little bit more efficient sometime later down the line. But for now, it works at least. The system is correctly Huh? You what? Hold on, you what now? No, no, what the? Blocks. You need to not, please. Oh, no. Well, we're testing the axe. Hi. There's another one coming up, I'm fairly certain here. That's... Oh, well, I'm alive, I guess. Oh, hi. No, hold on. What? Who the heck was that? Wait here. Okay, I can take that out. Hold on. There is a way through this system. Hold on. Wow, that is efficient there. Oh, crap! Oh, the hoppers took it! Oh! Ah! I do not need zombies getting out of here. It's a good thing my system sucks as much as it does! The heck? Who the heck was... Huh? I didn't think anyone else would know about this place. 6 days left. But what does it mean?